Kanye West, the leader of our times. Get on the podcast again. The dude will not stop tweeting, and a lot of different responses to Kanye. You know, we talked a little bit about how he's been dropping his philosophies on life. Shortly after we recorded our last podcast, he decided to tweet about Donald Trump and his support for Trump.
MAGA.
Yeah. Kanye lost like 10 million followers, which I don't think was all about the Trump stuff. I think some of it was, but I think it was also like he had bought followers and just happened to like expire around that time, something like that. But what is your take on Kanye's whole political ideologies that he's been kind of throwing out there recently?
Yeah. So obviously we've talked about Kanye a lot on this pod when it comes up. Obviously, our second episode was the Life of Pablo review, his last album, and when things come up like his Wyoming recording sessions, we bring them up, right? Mm-hmm. But this, this is it's not fun to hear or anything, but I don't know. Like I haven't gotten too worked up about it, and this is kind of the point I've been trying to hammer home with people is that like Kanye has always been a self-centered, arrogant guy, and he always has thought he was smarter than he was or more talented than he was, and that's despite the fact that he's very talented, but his ego is tremendous, right? Obviously his fashion pursuits definitely fit along with that, but it's not like he's out there giving right-wing policy points. He's not tweeting like Ben Shapiro. He's not tweeting like the right-wing YouTube people he's now friends with, right? Mm-hmm. He's tweeting like Existenciación with his philosophy quotes. Like the problem, of course, is that people look up to him and he's very famous, so he's still a voice box, and the right-wing people would love to take advantage of him. But I still don't. There's no evidence that Kanye is like that. Like I have nothing to base off his actual views, just the people that he's associating with, So I'll still stick to liking his music and not liking his personality. Nothing has really changed for me.
And he follows up, dropping these with a song, which he kind of just dropped out of nowhere called Ye versus the People, featuring T.I. as the people, which, I mean, not a great Kanye track, but still a pretty decent hook. Which makes me very excited for the album. Yeah, decent beat. T.I.'s verses on this were just incredibly clunky and obviously just serving to whatever point Kanye convinced him to be a part of this. But I agree with you, and I think anyone that looks to Kanye West to be like a cultural leader or a political leader is just misguided, because this is a person that I think when he first was coming up had a lot of progressive beliefs and was a voice around some important topics. There's an interview of him talking about the way that gay people were talked about and probably still are talked about in hip hop culture, and how he talked about how artists need to try to change that discussion, and that's something I agree with. And I think he had some very well thought out points on that. That was over 10 years ago, and I mean, we all know Kanye's saga, his life story at this point, and where he just is as a person. I see him as a provocateur, as somebody who drives discussion around himself, especially at a crucial time before you drop an album. I think you don't say. If you're really getting worked up about Kanye, take a step back and maybe just find someone else to be your political leader.
Right, and like he's lived in Calabasas with the Kardashians for a long time now, right? He's been a wealthy, not normal person for 10 plus years, right? He's not like, and like, everyone's throwing back a George Bush meme. Kanye West doesn't care about black people. And it's like, you know what? Whatever he tells himself, he doesn't relate to normal black people or the plight of normal black people, right? He's not actually doing much in Chicago the way Chance the Rapper and Vic Mensa are, despite being a Chicago artist like them. So again, like if you were looking for Kanye to be this leader, even I guess what people would rather him be would be like Jay-Z and Beyonce. They don't really speak about like political issues, but what side they're on.
Right.
And I think people are just annoyed that Kanye is talking like he might be on the other side. But again, he hasn't actually said much to, say that declaratively. So I think it's a lot about nothing. It's just unfortunate that because of, how high profile all of it is. But I hope the album's good.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we're going to be finding that out in about a month from when you're probably listening to this podcast.